Hello and good morning to the Morning Update Show.
Right on, Mr. Blow. I mean, a true legend. I'm excited to dive right into this interview. And as Omari said, thank you again for giving us the opportunity. I know you're doing a bunch of different cities, so appreciate that you're stopping off in Seattle.
Oh, my pleasure. I want to say, I miss you, Seattle. Man, what a great city. What a great town. A lot of wonderful rivers up there. But it's going to be cold when we come. But we're going to have a great, great time. I can't wait to get there.
Yeah, we can't wait to have you. And I'm going to dive right in because this is a really unique show. You're coming here to Seattle for the Hip Hop Nutcracker, but we know that you also just went through a major transition of your own with your health and a heart transplant. We want to hear a little bit more about that and how it's changed your perspective on your work and what you're doing now.
Well, the heart transplant was a success, as you can see. I'll tell you, it was a miracle just to be in the position, in the place where I can receive a heart, a brand new heart. My God, 18 people die a day on this planet waiting for a transplant. And I was fortunate and blessed. I can say safely that God is still in the miracle business. And it was a miracle. So I thank everyone. I thank my wife of 38 years. She was my prayer warrior throughout the whole ordeal. All of my family, all of my friends and my fans. I don't have any fans anymore. They're all my friends now. So I want to thank everyone for all the prayers around this world. It was just amazing, this transition from where I am now. I remember, 2 years ago, I couldn't walk down the block without huffing and puffing. And it was such a big problem going out on tour. But now I have the opportunity, a second chance at life. And when that happens, it changes you for the better. You start enjoying life more. Every time I wake up in the morning, I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm alive. Any day above ground is a good day.
Absolutely. And what an amazing testimony. And, I appreciate you sharing that and being transparent with us through your experience. And, again, you're here for the Hip Hop Nutcracker. You're going to be here in November. How would you describe the Hip Hop Nutcracker to the audience and to people that are looking to come to the show?
Well, the Hip Hop Nutcracker is basically a dance holiday extravaganza. And it's something for everyone, for the whole family. So you can bring your grandparents out, bring your parents out, bring your children, bring your loved ones, your friends. It's all good for the whole neighborhood. And when we come to your town, our motto is love conquers all. The story is about two young people who fall in love, and their love creates a magic that can defeat evil. And we need that now more than ever. So we're bringing this presentation to your town for everyone. And we guarantee when you leave our show, you will be feeling good inside. That's our job.
I think you're so right about that, Mr. Blow. And I got to say, when you just said that, it reminds me, I think that COVID-19, this pandemic, has really had a wave of different ways that we've experienced it in all of our communities across the world. And, there's an element to it of bringing, even though we had to be isolated, there's these elements that really bring us closer together. And I appreciate you saying that and sharing that. I also think that artistry has something to do with that. And we know that the Nutcracker is an iconic show, been around for so many years. How is the Hip Hop Nutcracker different from the original Nutcracker?
Well, the Hip Hop Nutcracker is a not modernized version of the original. And what is different? Well, let me tell you what is the same is we have the same elements. We have Byron, the Nutcracker. We have Maria Clara. We have Drosselmeyer. It's the same characters. Instead of a mouse king, we have a mouse queen. So
Nice.
a lot of the elements are the same. What is different is you see this, you hear this classical music of Tchaikovsky, and we have a DJ who's playing funky hip hop beats under this classical music, and that sound right there is amazing. Uh, and also the dancers, I call them the B-Boy Dream Team. We have the greatest dancers around the world participating in this presentation, and to see them dance to this classical Tchaikovsky music is the most incredible thing as well. Then we have our own, like I say, we have our own DJ playing hip hop beats all throughout the whole night, right? And then we also have our very own hip hop musician. He's a violinist. And when you see this guy get down with his violin playing over the funky beats of hip hop, that is worth the price of tea in China.
Well, I gotta say, I mean, I'm just elated because I'm sitting here, I'm talking to you, a major legend, the first rap artist to ever sign a major label back in 1979. You really carry so much of the hip hop culture through your life and legacy, and I'm elated because I'm a huge fan, obviously, right? But the truth of the matter is that I think classical music has always been an influence to hip hop. How do you see classical music influencing the hip hop style, the culture, and the music?
That's a good question. Well, classical music is the basis for music theory. When we are taught music in school, I went to the High School of Music and Arts, and I was learning about the circle of keys, and we studied classical music. I learned every instrument, the woodwinds, the strings, the brass, the percussion and the drums. And it's the basis of learning how to read and write music using classical music. So hip hop, basic hip hop is all about the beat. The beat is so very important. And when you have that funky beat and you fuse that along with this classical music, it is incredible to hear.
Wow.
And so I've always been a supporter, an avid supporter of this fusion of hip hop and other forms and other genres of music. And on my first album, I did the first rock and roll rap. It was a cover of Bachman Turner and Overdrive's Taking Care of Business. And on that same album, I did the first country and western rap, a song called Way Out West. Incredible. And I've always been that supporter of fusing hip hop with other genres of music. I also produced the first reggae rap with the Fat Boys.
I mean, your work expands just beyond hip hop as you just described, and I love that you took us on that journey with you, thinking about some of the things that you've been able to create over your work and history. But I gotta ask, I mean, the theater is different, right? And so, as you're, now over 4 decades into the game of music and hip hop, really, again, a major pioneer for this culture. Did you ever see yourself working in theater, and what is this theater experience? How has it been as now an addition to your repertoire of work?
Oh, good question. I never really thought about this part of my career. And as I think, I've been in plays before. I did the Care Bears back in '92. I did some strange things like produce songs on the soap operas, and I was on One Life to Live for about 2-3 years, and you know, just those options that I had comes out of my college studies, you know, knowing the options, the windows that we could, you know, embark on with hip hop. And I majored in communications and speech broadcasting. And so I learned, you know, back in the '70s in college that, you know, hip hop is like communication. So you have all these windows. You could be, you know, in politics. You can be a motivational speaker. You can also be in ministry, the oratory. You know, we are, as rappers, we are the masters of the oratory, of communication. And so all those things, you know, played a part in my career and added to my options. Like I said, you know, that's what it is. Take the culture into the classroom and the classroom into the culture.
Ah, I love it. And you know, you said communications, that was my major. And I've been a theater kid and involved in it since I was 9. And so I love being able to see how theater can expand and broaden, you know, the reach in terms of including things like hip hop and exactly what you said, you know, utilizing artistry as a broad way of just performing and allowing people to see culture, because so much of culture is embedded in art. And so I love that. What is your role in this show specifically, Mr. Blow? I mean, what is it that folks are going to be able to see you doing as part of Hip Hop Nutcracker?
Well, my role is basically I am the host and MC. And so I come out in the intro and get everyone ready for the presentation. And I take them back to the old school and sing some old school hip hop songs. And I have everyone standing up and dancing in the aisles and the seats and throwing their hands in the air and making a whole lot of noise. And at the end of it, I sing a song called New Year's Eve. And in the middle of the song, I make everyone count down from 10 to 1. And at 1, we scream really loud as long as we can, Happy New Year. And then the curtains come down, go up, and we start the show. And then I come back at the end. Oh, well, the show starts on New Year's Eve in 1980. And then I come back at the end of the play of the performance, and we sing the breaks. I sing the breaks with the whole cast and crew, and we're all dancing around doing solos, and I'm introducing the individual characters, and everybody is having a great time in the stands and throwing their hands in the air and making a whole lot of noise. And it's such a fun ending to the play. And we make sure that everyone in the audience, when they leave, they are feeling good inside. That is our job.
Yeah, and it just sounds so beautiful, this entire show. And I got to go back to something here because, again, you know, artistry in particular has been really hit hard by COVID-19. And so I just want to ask you how you felt being able to be a part of something that's now going to be touring all of these cities throughout the country and, you know, really bringing back theater and allowing us to remember a thriving culture in artistry when it was hit so hard by COVID-19. Venue shut down, plays, nobody could do almost anything. How is it for you to be part of something that's touring all these major cities and reminding us of that amazing artistry culture that we kind of lost during this pandemic?
Well, being able to tour again with the Hip Hop Nutcracker is a blessing in more ways than one. Of course, you know, I wasn't supposed to be here last year in August the doctors told me I wasn't going to be around for another 6 months.
Mm.
And I had to get a heart transplant. And so, wow, what a blessing to be here, to be able to get out there and perform again. Wow, what a blessing. And the other thing is, you know, wow, the COVID-19 pandemic was a crisis that changed everybody's life. I don't know if, man, I have so much compassion and just love for people, anyone who has lost someone in their family or their friends. You know, we all know that pain. And so we were stuck in the house in quarantine, you know, for a year and a half now. And it's, wow, just such a blessing to be able to get back out there. So we have, of course, our protocols. We have our conditions and our policy dealing with every venue and all of our cast and crew. We're all vaccinated, and it's going to be okay. We're very careful. You know, me more so than anyone, because I am, you know, a heart transplant patient still, and my immune system is really, really low. So I'm on the top of the list of, you know, danger. So I'm going to be very, very careful following the protocols of our tour. And that's like wearing a mask all the time, washing your hands, you know, all the nine.
Yeah. Yeah, we are all so used to these masks at this point, used to keeping our hands extremely clean. I know that that's something that we've all been adjusting to, and making sure, again, like you said, that we're keeping ourselves safe, our families, our friends safe. That's really important. And venues have had to make that adjustment. So I know that, you know, a lot of these spaces that you may be touring are saying, look, either you have to have the vaccine, you have to show proof of that, or you have to show proof of a negative COVID test in the last 3 days or 72 hours. There's a lot of different regulations that are coming up to play so that we can all adjust to COVID and try to really do our part to eliminate this pandemic. Well, before we let you go, we got to ask, how many cities are you guys traveling to for the Hip Hop Nutcracker? It looks like it's a very long list.
Yes, yes. All in all, there are about 45 shows, but we are going to 31 cities across the US. Some nights we're there 2 and 3 days, 2 or 3 shows and stuff like that. But it's 31 cities, and I can't wait.
Wow, exciting. And you will be here at the Paramount Theatre on the 13th and 14th of November. Looking forward to having you in our city once again. Mr. Kurtis Blow, thank you so much for your time with us over here at Converge Media, and with me specifically, Trae Holiday. Appreciate you giving us your time. And I gotta say, just appreciate your breadth of work. Everything that you have done has really laid such a solid foundation for so many hip hop careers to explode, for us to be able to experience culture in a musical way. You really paved the way for so many. So thank you for everything that you've given to the hip hop culture and to us as Americans and globally throughout the world with your work. Appreciate you and everything you do.
Oh, thank you. You're welcome. And thank you, Trae, for supporting hip hop and me all these years. I want to thank you and all the radio on-air personality, program directors, music directors. Man, I love you guys. I want to thank you for making that Christmas rap an annual classic. You guys have been playing it since 1979. It's the most relative song in hip hop. It's been playing for 40 years, every Christmas, like Nat King Cole. And I want to thank you, Portland, I thank you too. I love you guys. You know that. I'll see you real soon. I'm coming back. The Hip Hop Nutcracker is back.
Thank you so much, sir.